All right, it's a 2000 Ford E150. Complaint is brake noise. Besides this wheel being frozen and having a hard time coming off, we're working on that. But check out this rotor. Check out the brakes. You look carefully, there is no brakes. That pad is right down to the metal. Look at the thickness of the rotor. Nice. It's worn out, but look how thin it is over there. See that? Let's look at it this way. Thick and thin. And look at the rotor itself. Yeah. Think it needs rotor? Oh yeah. Needs a rotor. Change them both. Brake pads right down. Got your money's worth. Except these rotors have an inner and outer bearing, so that all has to be changed. It's the rotor, inner and outer bearing with a seal. You have to grease them. Brake pads. Oh yeah. And don't forget, if you ever jack up your car, best thing is to throw your wheels underneath the car, so God forbid if anything here falls, it's going to land on the tire, and you have at least the thickness of the tire in case you trap your legs or anything like that. All right, let's do the brakes. All right, folks, this is a 2000 Ford Van 150 half-ton, I believe it is. I'm going to start on the front brake pads and rotors. All right, there's two bolts that hold the caliper on. They are 13 millimeters. One on the top, one on the bottom. The caliper will come out. Okay, once the caliper comes out, if you notice that the piston is all the way out, it's all the way out because there's no more brake pads left in it. So I'm going to hang it up on this hook here. Let me grab this for you. So I hooked it up over there, out of the way. I'm going to push that caliper in later on, clean it up, lubricate it. Let's look at the brake pads on this one. There is none. Look how thin this part of the rotor is. Look how thick the front one is. So let's take this off and knock this pad out. See what it looks like. Oh yeah, there's not much left of that thing. Look at this thing. How's that, huh? Right down to the metal. Past the metal. To the point where it was eating up the rotor. That's why it's so thin. Let's take this one out. This one, it's pretty close. Not to the metal yet, but as you could tell, there's hardly any friction material left on it. But that explains why the rotor looks the way it is. All right, so the next thing off is the bearings. All right, should be a cap in there, cotter pin, a big nut. We'll spin it off and we'll drop it and we'll see how that goes. All right. All right, to start with the rotor, take this big cap off with a big pair of channel locks. Cap, just grab it and spin it right off. Then comes the cotter pin. All right, put them together. Yank this little bugger right out. Okay. See what I did? I grabbed it here, then I anchored it like that in a pulling motion. They make a tool for it. You can hook it in there and pull it, but I find it easy to go old school. Then this little cap comes off. Okay, that's the one that you have to adjust it so that the cotter pin matches. All right, get your little pliers again, and let's take this little nut off. Let's see if I can adjust it here. Okay, once you adjust it, this sucker's going to spin right off. Holding the camera, so I don't want to get grease on the camera. It's all right. So the nut comes off. Then there's a little washer that's in there that's going to come out. Okay, a little pair of pliers. Okay, a little screwdriver. A little sucker will come right off. All right. That's the order that it comes out of. 1, 2, the nut, the washer, and the bearing's going to come out, right? So give this rotor a little wiggle, and the bearing's going to pop right out. So you go and you grab that little bearing. I'm going to change them anyway, remember? All right. Yeah, this one looks like it's shot. The bearings are dry. All right. And then this rotor's going to come right out in your hands. Let's see if I can grab it. I'll put my gloves on, get the tools out of the way, grab it, wiggle it right out. Oh, mamma mia. All right. There it is. The brake rotors. There's the wheel seal. There's the exciter ring. Okay, the drums should come with the exciter ring. Some drums don't. Then you have to take this off and put it on the new one. That's going to be a pain in the butt. Don't even bother it. Get a new rotor. I know I called it a drum before. New rotor with the exciter ring. Okay, it will come with the races for the bearing, but you change both bearings while you're here. Okay, I don't know when the last time the brakes were done here, but so it's going to be new rotors, brake pads, inner outer bearings, inner seal, and that gets all cleaned up. New cotter pin, people. New cotter pin. Look at that lip on there. That's pretty wild. See it? Worn out pretty thin. Look at the size difference between the rotor, this one and this one. And because of all this metal that's sheared off over there, look at it. It's on the ABS sensor. Okay? And that's probably why this car has an ABS light for this wheel. It's all full of metal. All right? Look at that. So the whole idea of the ABS sensor basically is, if you notice that the exciter ring is notched. So every time it hits the notch, it closes the sensor, then it opens the sensor, open, close, right? So it just works like that. If you're full of metal like that, it looks like it's closed all the time. So close the sensor off, sets off the light. Here it doesn't blink like it's supposed to do, and go with your speed. All right, clean this all up because all the metal's over there. So these parts they don't have in stock, people. So gonna order it from AutoZone. It's gonna come in the next day. So right now I'm just gonna strip it down, clean it all up, and get it ready to go for the next day. All right. I'll see you later. All right. So until the parts come in tomorrow, today is cleanup. Besides taking it all apart, we're going to clean it up. What was the old saying? Why put off tomorrow what you could do today? All right, so we cleaned up all that debris that was around the ABS sensor, cleaned off the grease, wire brushed everything, cleaned all the hardware. That's good to go, right? There's the nut, the retainer. Changed the hardware over here, which is the sliding pins, clips. Okay, push back the piston in there. Get that ready to go. I didn't grease up any of that stuff because overnight I don't know if there's only going to be any grease attached to anything, so I'll just wait until the parts come in and we'll do that. That's it. That is this side. Let me show you what the other side looks like. Ford. There it is. This side is nice and clean also. Getting ready for the new parts. Okay, same thing. Piston is pushed in. There it is. All right. Until tomorrow. Good night. All right, so the parts are here. A little problem with the delivery service, so I had to go to another AutoZone to pick up parts. Yeah, fun times. All right, so I bought some grease, high temperature grease. All right, packed the bearings. Okay, I placed them in there already. Just like that. Greased up the spindle, took all the clean parts out, got my cotter pin ready. Okay, so the inners are in there already. I put the seal on there. All right, I put that one on. I'm going to put this seal in here. Okay, what I usually do is I take a nice little hammer that has a flat face to it. Okay, and I tap it 1, 2, 3, 4 just to get it square, and then I tap it all the way around. Okay. And how you know it's flush, you can actually hear it when you hit the bottom. Okay, let's see if I can do this. No, you know what? I usually hold it and then hit it with a hammer, so I don't want to mess you up with that. Hang on. All right, set you up over here. So the bearing's in there already. Okay, it's already greased all the way around. I'll put this little seal in here. I hold off just a little bit, cockeyed just a little bit, just to square this off. Once you feel it going in, I go all the way around. Once you start hearing that solid sound, that means you know it's flush. You can check it with your fingers too. It should be all nice and flush. Alright, now what I'm going to do is going to clean up this rotor over here with all the oil, and then we'll be good to go. Oh, I forgot. These are the brake pads that we chose. DG632. They're golds. They come with the hardware, which is already on the spindle. Alright. Alright, here we are with putting the rotor on. Okay, the rotor's already set with the bearing. I'm going to put this right on here. Okay, hold it centered. Take the bearing that's already greased, put it right in there. Oh, got a cock out of there. Okay, got that right in there. Put the washer, right? It's got a little flat side to it. It's up and down. Then we'll take the nut, put that on. Okay, let's wipe this all off. It's going to work kind of clean. I take my channel locks. Kind of tighten it down a little bit. Spin it. Okay, tighten a little bit more. Back off. This is what I usually do. I do old school. Okay, I'm sure there's other procedures that people do, but I like to spin it, tighten it all the way, pushing it up, tighten it all the way. Okay, just to set the bearing steady. Okay, so once I tighten it, I back off just a tab, and that's it. Then I take this piece. It's castellated with a bunch of little holes here and there, so that it'll be exactly what you want to do. Is you want to keep moving it until it falls exactly where the hole is for your cotter pin. Okay, and whatever matches on top is going to match on the bottom. Okay, this one, look, it's blocking it exactly on it. You don't want that one. Yeah, perfect. See it? Like that. Then you put the cotter pin in. Now, of course, there's certain ways people put cotter pins in. They can go straight, cut it even, and then bend it up out of the way, or you can turn it this way and split it like a smiley face. So what we're going to do here is we're going to split it like a smiley face. So I hold it down, take my little pliers, and I bend it all the way around. Same thing here, bend it all the way around. Okay, just like that. What you can do is you could either trim it off or just pinch it a little bit more up out of the way. Okay, so basically you just don't want this thing to hitting any part of the round part of it, any part of the cap, because the cap is going to be part of the rotor and it's going to be spinning. So if this is sticking up out of the way, you're going to hear a little metal grinding. You're going to wonder what in the world is that. This is the cap that we cleaned up. You're doing a show car, change it. Otherwise, the old one fits fine. There you go. Okay, rotor is on. Now we're going to go to the brake pads, and then we're going to lubricate everything else. Off to the brake pads. So the brake pads, they basically just sit in this little groove here. Like that. Okay, this is the outside one because this is where the caliper clips onto. Then you get the inside one, clips on the same way. It's hard to see over here. Hang on, I'm going to shut you off for a second. So I can stick my head in there. I don't want you to see my head. Alright, so basically, when you put the pads on, this little U piece fits in here. And you just got to bend this little clip up out of the way so it goes around this brake pad, see? Okay, if not, it's going to get in the way. So just lift this up out of the way so that the pad can sit in. Here is the extra grease. That did not come with these brake pads. So what I do with this is, I take the grease, I put it on the piston of the caliper, and on this side over here, where it shows a little rust that I wire brushed already, then the whole assembly is going to go in as one piece. Alright, so let's see here, we can set you up here. Let's take this off the clip here. Don't forget to take that wire off. Alright, so these are the bolts, the 10mm bolts. Put them off to the side. Alright, blow it out a little bit. Let's see, I'm going to place it over here for a second. Okay, place it up on top. I'm going to put the little grease on there. See if I can squeeze it out of the tube. See, I'm going to squeeze it between my legs. There you go. There you go. Be a nice, happy caliper. Okay. That'll go there like that. Wipe your fingers. Always work clean. You don't want any of this stuff dragging onto the brake pad surface or the rotors. Okay. And don't forget to check the hardware over here, folks. Okay, this hardware over here, you just want to make sure that it slides in and out with no problem. Okay, I gotta hold the caliper while I'm doing that. Alright, let's see here. This one slides fine. See it? This one, it's a little bit of a problem, see? See it? This one slides fine. So you can see it. Hang on, let me tilt it up a little bit more. Da-da-da-da. Alright. I'm going to show you how this one slides fine. See it? Okay. And this one is not. But this one we're going to have to work on. So, I'm going to have to knock it out, lubricate it, and then get it to work. Alright, so I'm going to shut you off here for a second, and we'll turn you back on. Alright, so I'm working on that caliper. I'm soaking it right now with PB Blaster to see if we can save that caliper. Like I said, okay, make sure these things move back and forth. I am on the other side right now, so I can finish this video for you folks. Alright, make sure it moves in and out freely, uncontested, no problem. Okay, so now I'm going to put this on. Make sure when you put it on, there's no binding of, you didn't have to twist the caliper too many times. Okay, so this is going to go on. These clips actually go and clip on over here. Okay, so it's going to fit a certain way. You can lift these up and over. Okay, give it a little bit of a boost, and they pop right in. Don't forget to pull these pistons, these little adjusters out, so it clears a knuckle. Okay, those little sliding things, make sure they're all the way out, and then it just falls right in. These clips right in there. These are your little 13mm bolts. One in there, one in there. You might have to give it a little wiggle just to find its spot. And then when I go, we're going to tighten these little buggers up this way. There you go. All right, we're going to soak the other side with WD-40 or PB Blast is what I used. I'm going to knock it in and out, back and forth, to make sure that it slides. Might have a little rust in it. We'll take care of that. I'm actually surprised that caliper didn't lock up yet and cause the brake rotors to wear out like the way this one did. Because that's another reason why one rotor would wear out faster than the other, is because of that hardware that's not secured enough. All right, so I'm gonna make this nice and tight here. We'll get the torque specs and we'll torque it. Other than that, this is done. Okay, that's it, people. Thanks for watching. There's the E150 van for brakes. All right. Dun, da, da, da. All done. Nice. Spins freely. Okay. That's it. Thanks for watching, guys. Ciao.